All right, I am excited to announce for 2022 the Kokanee Tour of Utah. Um, I want to do something a little different this year. If you watched my channel in the past, you know that I primarily target Kokanee at Strawberry with a few trips to Jordanelle throughout the year. I've also fished Flaming Gorge a few times for Kokanee. But I'm going to get out of my comfort zone and we're going to go see if we can catch kokanee at the majority of the lakes that have kokanee in Utah. So I did a little research. I pulled the stocking reports since 2017 from the DWR's website. This is public information you can go find. And I compiled a list of the lakes that have been stocked in the last, I guess, about 5 years with kokanee. So this is the list. I'm going to go through each lake one by one and just show you where it is on the map. Talk a little bit about how many kokanee have been stocked there in the past. So the first lake on our list is Jordanelle Reservoir. So Jordanelle, if you look at the stocking information on the side there, you can see that since 2017, it's been fairly regularly stocked with right around 163,000 kokanee in 2017. 2018 and 2019, we were up in the 200,000s, and then recently 2020 and 2021, a little bit over 100,000 kokanee stock. So it has been stocked fairly well over the last few years. I've caught quite a few kokanee in that lake. That lake has a lot of just about every kind of species you could imagine. So it's a fun lake to fish. It can be difficult at times, but you never know what you're going to catch going to Jordanelle. So that is the first lake on our list. The ice has actually just come off Jordanelle. I was actually there fishing that today, so that will be our first episode of this series. So make sure you, if you haven't already, subscribe. That will be released here in the next day or two. So the second lake on our list is Strawberry Reservoir. This is the lake, my favorite lake to fish. So if you look at the stocking report for Strawberry, you can see back in 2017 they stocked almost 462,000 kokanee, which I think is really interesting. The last couple years, 2021, I would say it was a good year for kokanee fishing there, but it was a lot more difficult than 2020. And kokanee, they have a 3 to 5 year lifespan typically. I've got a video on Kokanee Lifespan if you want to learn more. I'll put a little link in the description and here on this video. So those kokanee that were planted in 2017, those would be the ones that were spawning about in 2020, 2019. 2020 was probably one of the best years we've had for kokanee in a long, long time. It was almost too easy to catch kokanee that year. And if you look back, I find that it's very interesting that in 2017, it's because it got a lot of kokanee planted that year. The next lake on our list is going to be Flaming Gorge Reservoir. Flaming Gorge is an amazing lake. One of my favorites to actually fish it. I really need to go spend more time there. As you can see from the stocking report, over the last 5 years, they consistently stay in about 400,000 fish. 2020 was an exception where Flaming Gorge looks like it got about double that amount stocked. So that could mean this year and the following year could be really, really good years for kokanee, just based on that. Kokanee get stocked in these lakes by the DWR, but there is also some natural reproduction that happens in these lakes, and especially Flaming Gorge and Strawberry. I know that happens in those lakes to keep the natural population going along with what's supplemented by the DWR. The next lake we'll try to go to this year is East Canyon Reservoir. I fished East Canyon a few times. I've never caught a kokanee there, never really targeted them there. In the last 5 years, only the last 3 years, they've been putting kokanee in that lake, and the numbers are quite a bit smaller. So you've got 10,000, 17,000, and 15,000. So the population is newer in East Canyon. There's not as many. It'll probably be a more difficult lake to find kokanee in, I would imagine, but we'll go try. Next on the list is Electric Lake. This last year, I drove past Electric Lake. It was really low, but it's a smaller lake, and it's consistently gotten right around 23 to 28,000 kokanee planted per year. So it should have a decent population there. It's a lake that I'm excited to go and try. I've never fished for kokanee on that lake. Next on the list is Fish Lake. And Fish Lake is another lake that's heavily stocked by the DWR. Back in 2017, we had 343,000 kokanee stocked. The last couple of years, it looked like they're a little bit lighter years with 133 and 125,000 kokanee. Fish Lake, I've never actually been there, so I'm excited to venture out and go to a new lake. I've heard nothing but good things about Fish Lake. Next on the list is Lost Creek Reservoir. Kokanee have only been planted the last 2 years in Lost Creek, so we'll go check it out this summer, see if we can find any that want to bite there. Starting off with smaller numbers, it looks like 12,000 kokanee for the last 2 years. So they'll still probably be smaller kokanee, probably not quite to maturity for spawning yet. Interesting to go see if we can find any at that lake. Next on the list is Rockport. It's another lake that they just recently started stocking kokanee. They've only put kokanee in the last 2 years. Looks like 24,000 last year and 30,000 in 2020. So that is another lake. I fished it, never targeted kokanee there. Excited to go try. Now next on the list is Starvation. That is an interesting lake. If you look at what they've done for Starvation back in 2017, they planted about 78,000, 2018, 75,000. Then 2019, they did not plant kokanee there. Along with last year, they did not plant kokanee there. 2020, they did do 71,000. So there is a population there. I don't know if they didn't plant for 2 years. I don't know if that means how well or not the population is doing, or if they're looking to continue it. I do know of kokanee. I've had friends that have caught kokanee there. I've only fished it a few times. Done well for big rainbows. It's one of my favorite places for rainbows. But we'll go see if we can catch some kokanee there this year. So in summary, here's the list again: Jordanelle, Strawberry, Flaming Gorge, East Canyon, Electric Lake, Fish Lake, Lost Creek, Rockport, Starvation. It should be a fun year. Make sure you subscribe so you can get all our updates as we go to these lakes. I'd also say if you regularly fish one of these lakes other than Strawberry or Jordanelle or Flaming Gorge for kokanee, you want to share some tips and tricks, or even potentially get together and do a joint trip out to one of these lakes, I'd be more than willing to take someone up on that. I know one of the best ways to learn where the fish are and how to catch them in some of these lakes is the experience from others. So I'm more than happy to take any advice that anyone wants to share with me. If you're interested in getting together for a joint trip or sharing information, you can leave a comment below, or feel free to find me on Instagram or Facebook and send me a private message. If I missed any lakes that you think that I should go hit this summer, leave a comment below. Also, let me know what your favorite lake to fish kokanee is. Thanks for watching. Looking forward to a great 2022 season. Happy fishing and tight lines.